Connect, India, the Republic of Congo, and the country of Bahrain, all three of which form an exhaustive list. Let me repeat the question. Connect, India, the Republic of Congo, and the country of Bahrain. This is our audience question for this week's episode, the answer for which I will reveal at the end of today's episode. Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me, your favorite quizzing and trivia podcast show. This is episode number 135. Cue the music. Welcome to Are You Quizzing Me? I am Vineet Nair with my co-host Aditya Kashyap. This is a quizzing trivia podcast show. Join us as we dive deep into history, science, pop culture, and so much more. Let's get quizzing. Welcome back, ladies, gentlemen, and animals of all flavors and sizes who somehow may be listening to this podcast. Aditya and I are back for another fresh round of quizzing. So before we get to the meat of the episode, Aditya, will you please reveal who answered your audience question part 2 last week?
This is both a reveal and a shout out to the person who answered the question, and also an apology to the same person because I messed up his name in the previous episode because it's the same guy as the last episode. And for regular listeners, you'd know that in that case, I had to record it post. And because at that point I had not really shared it on Instagram yet. So when I recorded later, I think in a rush, I ended up speaking the person's name. So apologies, please accept my heartfelt apologies. Avishkar got it last week as well, and Avishkar got the answer right this week as well. The question was, who is this person miming in the middle of Central Park, caught by a photographer, and was not really famous at this point? So it was just a random picture of mimers in the middle of Central Park. Mimes. Did I say mimers? Mimes. Mimes in the middle of Central Park. And many years later, this photographer, I'm not quite sure how he finally realized that he had caught Robin Williams in the middle of his act while he was performing in Central Park when he was a complete unknown. So that is a lovely picture. I purposely blanked out his face, but just enough so you could see the contours. So maybe you could make out who it is. And if you couldn't, now go back and look at even the blank picture, and you probably will be able to recognize the outline of his face. And of course, look at the actual picture as well on Google or wherever. And yeah, it's a lovely piece of history of a lovely man, actually, because Robin Williams, quite the lovely human being.
Yes, and a video game fan. He was a gamer, for those who do not know. So much so that he actually named his daughter after an iconic game, which again I will reveal at the end of today's episode. So stay on to find out which video game he was a fan of and after which character or game did he name his daughter. So, Aditya, I believe it is your turn to start off today. I am keeping track.
Impressed that you have kept track because it is indeed my turn. And before I take my turn, I have to just do a shout out to a person who commented on our YouTube videos saying that they want our videos back. A few people have said that. Thank you so much for reaching out with all this feedback. We love it. We hope to eventually get back to it. But specifically shout out to this person because they're like, can you get the videos back? I love the smug look on your faces when you're about to crack the question. I don't know who that was pointed at. I think both of us are guilty of it at various points. And yeah, we will bring back the videos along with our smug faces. Rest assured, even while you're listening to the audio, we have a healthy dosage of smugness along with more than our fair share of embarrassment when we don't get the answer. So it's a good mix. Yeah. But I am not going to twiddle my thumbs around, and I'm going to get right to the trivia. And since we were talking about embarrassing and yet somehow cool, my question is about a subreddit. And regular listeners know that we have a subreddit of r/Are You Quizzing Me. And before the subreddit existed, I actually was not a very regular Reddit user. I used to very occasionally go to it. But since r/Are You Quizzing Me exists, I very often am on it. So I ended up finding this particular side of Reddit, which I didn't know existed. And I'm sure there are like 1,000 of those. But anyways, in this case, the question is about the subreddit. It's going to be difficult to get through without laughing. r/chairs underwater. Vineet, have you heard of r/chairs underwater?
I don't believe that is one of the ones that I frequent, but I am definitely going to be checking out chairs underwater. That's weird. But then Reddit has a subreddit for everything.
Clearly, you're not part of the 21,000 weekly visitors that this subreddit gets. All right. So, this subreddit is a community dedicated to appreciating the beauty of chairs underwater. All right. So they literally post pictures of chairs underwater, and they're very particular about the fact that these should be chairs underwater. They talk about it in, let's say, sensual terms sometimes. Sometimes it's a little graphic, and I don't mean graphic like the picture, I mean graphic language they use sometimes when describing these chairs. It's almost as if with a sense of, to put it, pardon my French, to put it very, very lewd and sexual comments also feature on this subreddit. Just literally talking about the chairs underwater. Now, Vineet, my question to you is, which posts on r/chairs underwater are marked NSFW? What is specific about the posts that are marked NSFW? Not all of them are marked NSFW. Some of them are marked so. Tell me, which ones do you think are marked NSFW?
There is an actual subreddit called Chairs Underwater, and you're telling me that there are specific posts which are marked not safe for work.
I don't know what to tell you. The internet is a beautiful, lovely, weird, and extremely entertaining place.
Okay, I'm trying to get in the headspace of a mod or somebody who's going to be posting. I can't think of anything that would be really. Okay. But is this something like okay? Apologies to our listeners, because is this like a sex swing or one of those sex chairs underwater?
Hey, no need to apologize. Sex swings are real things, and no kink shaming. Anybody who likes a sex swing, you do you, live your best life. No, nothing like that. Yeah, that's a very solid guess. It has nothing to do with sex swings or anything which is used in a sexual context. And that could be my first hint. It isn't something necessarily that you would associate with sex.
Are there other people also in these pictures?
No, I have browsed this pretty extensively. I'm yet to see a picture with a person featured in it.
And are these like posed chairs, as in they intentionally submerge chairs to take pictures?
No. These are, I mean, some of them might be intentionally submerged. I didn't really go into the details of it. It was a quick browse, as one might, of certain subreddit. And these were pictures of sometimes chairs ending up underwater for some reason, or somebody has intentionally put them there to feature it on this subreddit, I guess.
I need some kind of clue. I'm completely underwater.
All right. Okay. So, well done. Are you seated on a chair beneath for this answer?
On a sofa.
On a sofa.
Yes.
All right. You're on a sofa. Very JD Vance of you. No. All right. Let's not. Okay.
Oh no. Oh, you dirty boy.
All right. Okay. So my first hint would be that it somewhere lies in the name of the subreddit. Chairs underwater. So chairs are supposed to be underwater, but what if it isn't fully true? I think that's a pretty direct hint, but yeah.
It's not fully true, as in it's not a chair.
Or it's not
fully underwater.
Fair enough. That's it. All right, you got it. You cracked it. Very well done. Proud of you. I think you're amazing.
Wait. What did I crack? That it's not fully underwater.
The posts which don't have chairs fully underwater, like have a part of it sticking out, a leg sticking out, or the back sticking out of the water, those posts are supposed to be marked NSFW. You're caught on?
Is this something like a just the tip joke?
No. Vineet, don't get ahead of me. Do not try to get ahead of me. All right? Now, Vineet, the second part of this question is, what does NSFW stand for?
Not safe for work.
What does NSFW stand for on r/chairs underwater?
Oh, you bugger. You've been saying NSFW. You never said not safe for work. Okay. When I was parsing the question aloud, I specifically mentioned not safe for work first, because I didn't, if there is somebody who's listening to the podcast who did not know NSFW, I thought they might not understand what you'd asked. But you were tricking me the whole time. So this is some sort of
man, and yet I was a few feet below you, as it were.
So this is an alternative expansion of NSFW, I'm guessing.
Correct.
I'm guessing it's water at the end. W will be water.
Very well done, yes.
So NSFW, you said not fully submerged in water. Not, okay. Not Not submerged fully in water.
And there you go. So here are the subreddit rules on r/chairs underwater. Rule 1.
Okay.
Posts must feature one or more chairs or seating apparatuses. So a sofa might work as well. All right. Rule 2.
Okay.
Chairs must be at least partially submerged in water. No holding water over a chair and calling it underwater. So you don't try to be funny on the subreddit, all right? They take it seriously.
Okay.
All right. And rule number 3 is, if a chair is not fully submerged, please flag post as NSFW, not submerged fully in water.
Oh God.
You can't out weird the internet.
You can't make this shit up. No, you can't. No, okay, you cannot. Okay, this is fun piece of trivia. I will give you that. Fun, very fun. I don't have a segue, so just go ahead. I'm going to ask you a question, which is a little mythology, culture related. Okay.
All right.
Though I'm sure you will be able to crack it. So X, the name X here, denotes a forbidden ancient god or fiend tied to the netherworld, a colossal force of chaos so potent its mere utterance was shunned. It stars as the key figure in Voltaire's 1756 proto-sci-fi tale called Plato's Dream, often hailed as an early milestone in speculative fiction. Alvaro de Campos, one of Fernando Pessoa's literary personas, penned a poem titled X, where the poet dreads insanity from piercing life's cosmic veil and secrets. The name X and the shot to fame after Y came out in July 2016. So I want you to tell me what X is, and that will obviously lead you to Y.
July 2016. Something came out. Could be a movie. Who was it that had written that? What is speculative fiction?
So Voltaire. French author Voltaire, 1756.
18th century.
1756. Yeah.
All right.
Plato's Dream was the name of the sci-fi tale.
Underground. Sorry, not underground. Sorry. I'm still thinking submerged.
Underwater, yeah.
Okay. But something to do with the underworld, hell, or whatever it is. Hades, Set. I guess you could go Hindu mythology with Yamraj. Could go Satan.
This has not anything to do with India. I can tell you that.
Okay. Right. Trying to think off the top of my head the figures, the mythological figures that are associated with the underworld.
You know this name, but you may not completely associate it with mythology, because its association has come as part of completely something else in pop culture and modern pop cultures in the past 40 years.
Okay. And
a very niche group of people knew about it for the past 40 years. It was among their lexicon, but it became part of the cultural zeitgeist post 2016.
Post July 2016, you mentioned. Okay. Something came out in July 2016. Some movie. Actually, worth asking, is it a movie or should I be thinking?
It's a TV show.
TV show. I'm assuming it's pretty famous, right? It's a famous TV show.
Oh, it's a very famous TV show. Like, extremely famous.
2016, was that when Stranger Things came out? Vecna?
Oh, it's not Vecna, but you are right with Stranger Things.
Oh man, I did not bother watching season 5, and it's been a while since I've watched the early seasons.
Even if you watched only the first season, you would know this.
It's just been so long that really, apart from Vecna and 11, I can't even recall the names of any of the other characters. There was Vecna, and there was that big thing, the whatever tentacly.
The Mind Flayer.
But yeah, I'm guessing that's not it.
It's not it.
Oh, Vecna, Mind Flayer. Hey, yeah, no. If it's a specific Stranger Things character, I'm probably it's slipping my mind right now.
Okay, I mean, you've got most of it apart from the actual question answer. But no, so the thing is, if you remember the first season, I'll give you one more. The first season.
Hey, was it?
Demogorgon. Yes, that is the answer that I'm looking at. It's a Demogorgon. And so the Demogorgon is a shadowy underworld deity or demon from late antique texts like the Lactantius Placidus's 4th century Thebaid commentary, derived from a scribal error for Greek Demogorgon. Its name became taboo in the medieval Renaissance lore as the primal god of chaos. Voltaire's Plato's Dream indeed centers Demogorgon as the flawed creator of Earth, critiquing divine perfection. Alvaro de Campos wrote a poem titled Demogorgon in the 1920s, expressing dread of madness from life's unveiled mysteries. Stranger Things Season 1 premiered on July 15th, 2016 on Netflix, popularized the name via its monstrous Demogorgon, which basically boosted searches for the term on Google by around 1,000%. For the past 40 years, players of Dungeons and Dragons would have recognized the Demogorgon as one of the characters featured in the show. But as you know, that's a very niche population of people who played Dungeons and Dragons. This became part of the modern cultural zeitgeist after the launch of Stranger Things.
Very cool, very cool. All right, I'm glad I cracked that. But yeah, nice.
So, hit me.
Very nice, very cool. Since you were talking about the French author, Voltaire, I'm going to ask you a question that has to do with the French opera. The opera in question is Carmen. So Carmen is an opera in 4 acts by the French composer Georges Bizet. Georges? I don't know how to pronounce it. Georges by Bizet. And it's considered pretty famous. It has been performed all over the world. Recently, it was being performed by the Seattle Opera. My question to you is, Vineet, Seattle Opera was offering discounted tickets for Carmen. Can you tell me why were they offering discounted tickets for Carmen?
This was when?
This was in 2026.
Particularly familiar with Carmen. Is it something to do with the opera itself or something part of the story of the opera?
You don't need to know so much about Carmen, the story or any of that to crack this question.
Okay. I don't know. You'll have to give me some kind of clue because I am not familiar with the opera in general. I'm not familiar with this particular opera either. So I have no idea. Was it to boost sales of... Okay. So there was a...
This is the look. This is the look that they were talking about. This is the exact look. He has cracked it. Listeners, he has cracked it. Yeah, go for it.
No. So during the Oscars opening monologue that Conan O'Brien was giving, he particularly shouted out Timothy Chalamet because he had mentioned that he wouldn't want to be part of an industry where that it was struggling to survive or something. And there was a lot of backlash that in Europe, for example, or the opera and ballet were huge and still drew lots of big crowds. So is this a dig on Timothy Chalamet?
Oh man, that was so beautifully cracked. Very well done. Yes. The promo code was Timothy, Timothee. That was a Timothy promo code that was being offered by Seattle Opera. Do you want to know how much discount they were offering?
No, I don't know.
You're not chronically online. You're not constantly online, clearly.
No, I am chronically online, but not in this particular space.
because Timothy Chalamet's entire quote, where he's basically in a conversation with Matthew McConaughey, and he says something about how he doesn't want to be part of dying arts, quote unquote, like ballet and opera, where, again, I'm quoting him, the people have to beg audiences to come and watch them. And then he says something like, oh, no offense to all the ballet and opera people. And then he laughs and he's like, I guess I just lost 14 cents on my revenue or whatever, right? Implying that there is barely anybody out there who's from ballet and opera who will care. So they were offering 14% discount on their tickets as a little bit of a, clap back at Timothy Chalamet for his quip. And I was trying to throw you off with the whole Carmen and Seattle Opera part of it, but you were not to be confounded. You were very, very well attuned to this question. Well done. And because Seattle Opera is not the only one, there were a bunch of other operas also which are offering discounts on their opera seats. And to Timothy's credit, a fair bunch of people did go and watch opera because of this. So, hey, you know what? No such thing as bad publicity.
I did not get the chance to watch the Oscars live. So I was watching the recording on Geo. recently, which they cut down almost all the ancillary awards and just showed the major awards only, which is fine, fair enough, because otherwise it'd be very long. But I remember the opening monologue, which had this, that clicked to memory. Nice question.
This was also an excuse to actually do another shout out to another friend of the podcast, another listener of the podcast. Or I believe he's a listener, or at the very least, he's somebody who follows us on Instagram. Because Vaishnav Mohan on Instagram predicted, because I in my last Sunday quiz, I asked Oscar-related trivia, right? And a bunch of people enjoyed it. Some people who are not big movie fans, or actually, let's be specific, Oscar Hollywood fans, didn't care for it. And apologies to those people. Come back next Sunday. There'll be a fun quiz again, another new fun theme for you. But in any case, in my Oscar theme trivia, at the end of it, I asked people for their predictions of who they think is going to win. This was literally a couple of hours before the winners were announced. A bunch of people got the regulars right. Jesse Buckley and Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, one battle after another, yada, yada, yada. Right? I have to shout out, though, Vaishnav Mohan, because he got One Battle After Another gets Best Picture, Adapted Screenplay, and Best Director. Sinners will get Best Actor and Best Score. So, an educated guess, yes, but very bang on, because getting like 5 of these right is very impressive. So, these are the 5 predictions he made. He got it all. I hope you bet some good money on it, Vaishnav, because you would have made good money on those bets. Vaishnav, well done. An Oscar fan just like me. What did you think, Vineet? Did you agree with the winners?
I honestly think that Sinners should have won a lot more. A lot more categories, honestly speaking. I really like One Battle After Another, but I feel that the Oscars have become completely about Oscar bait nowadays. You just don't see fan favorite movies or movies that were really enjoyed in theaters. You're seeing like these critical darling movies which have grossed maybe 20 million, 10 million, which are like prime examples of filmmaking, don't get me wrong. But I think there also has to be a place for the fact that a movie is intended to be entertainment, and a movie that succeeds in entertaining a very large audience should be given a fair chance at hitting. I don't know exactly how the Academy votes for these things, but it's always the critical darlings who hardly, grossed anything, who usually end up winning. Not always the case, but it's becoming increasingly the case. At least that's what I felt. I feel that maybe we have to get back to that portion where, where a summer blockbuster has a chance. And Sinners was, I think of the recent past few years, I think Sinners had the best chance to do that. So like a mainstream, big masala entertainer that anybody could watch and anybody would want to watch. I'm not saying that people don't want to watch One Battle After the Other. That's not my intention. Neither am I saying that Begonia was not a girl, but it's not a movie that draws people. These are not movies that draw people to theaters in large crowds. And I believe that is an art form in itself. And then creating a movie good enough, which is able to pull in people at the same time, be that good as Sinners was, that I felt it should have won more. It should have won more. Obviously, Paul Thomas Anderson, an author, genius man, but I don't know if he'd be able to pull off something like Sinners.
I generally think a lot of the Oscars are also about, while they do position it as in the context of a specific movie, very often it is about the body of work as well. Like, I think Paul Thomas Anderson was, just his body of work is very impressive. Ryan Coogler is much younger and has, I'm sure, a long way to go and is going to do interesting, amazing things. I personally don't think Oppenheimer is Nolan's best.
No, it's not. Nowhere near his best.
Winning a best picture for that and not having won it for some of his more exceptional films. I think Dunkirk was criminally underappreciated. Inception, just very, very impactful in terms of the pop culture impact it had. Memento, personal favorite. So yeah, Barbie was not even nominated, right? If I'm not wrong, considering how big a phenomenon it was. I personally didn't think it was the best picture of the year, but still not nominated. It's strange. In any case, I agree with you, and I'm still glad that the cinematography for Sinners won. Well deserved, and it's mind blowing that it's the first ever woman,
first female cinematographer,
first ever woman to win that award. It's ridiculous that is happening in 2026, but well, never, better late than never. So yeah, some interesting nominations, some interesting wins, and this question was just an excuse to shout out Vaishnav, and to have a little bit of a Oscar chat. But back to you, Vinny.
Yes. Let's move on from the eccentric Timothée Chalamet. He did a great job with Marty Supreme. Let's also give him due credit, even though he might have shot himself in the foot with all those interviews. Let's move on from him to India in the 1980s. In the 1980s, Tinkle was rapidly pulling ahead of the pack when it came to these kind of children's magazines, and it was edging towards nationwide dominance. Its strongest competition came from a rival publication called Target, which was produced by Living Media, and that one relied on written stories rather than comic strips. The rival magazine's standout attraction was a fictional detective. His name was a literal Hindi description of his most defining feature, and the character was created by illustrator Ajit Nainan. Seeing the popularity of this detective, the team behind Tinkle decided that they needed a challenger of their own. Associate editor Subba Rao proposed developing a comic persona to rival the detective's appeal. While shaping the character, the creators borrowed elements from the loud, charismatic, and expressive personality of Ricky Ricardo from the classic television series I Love Lucy. Which character am I talking about? Which iconic Tinkle character was born from this idea?
Oh man, okay. There's a I Love Lucy connection there as well. That doesn't help me. I don't really have too much context over there. There was a detective in Tinkle. Wow, this was
a rival character to a detective who was appearing in Target magazine.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a rival detective character, but not necessarily a detective. Got it.
No. There is another connect which I have specifically not mentioned, but that will be my clue.
The most defining feature thing was about the Target detective, right? Not about the Tinkle character.
No.
And you haven't given me either of the names. But you're asking me for the Tinkle character. If it's a rival character, but it's not really a detective, then it could be anything. I have a feeling Subandi is probably older. I'm just going to go with Shikari Shambhu.
Very nice. Very well done. It is Shikari Shambhu. So, Shikari Shambhu was created by writer Louis Fernandez and artist Vasant Halbe for Tinkle magazine, debuting in 1983. Subba Rao also proposed the initial concept as a rival to Target magazine's Detective Moochwala, which is going to be my next clue. Vasant Halbe's illustrations featuring Shambhu's iconic hat pulled over his eyes boosted the character's popularity. Shikari Shambhu drew inspiration from the TV show I Love Lucy, eventually evolving into a lazy explorer who avoids real danger through luck. Other Tinkle staples like Shupandi originated from reader-submitted stories by P. Vardarajan, illustrated by Ram Vairkar, capturing everyday simpleton humor. Kalia the Crow was pitched by Louis Fernandez again, despite cultural hesitations, with artist Pradeep Sathe emphasizing realistic animal anatomy. So that's very sure you'd get this. Shikari Shambhu's but I was trying to make it a little hide the Moochwala connection.
Oh, I love it. Cool. Since you did a little bit of throwback to India of the 80s, 90s, I'm going to do something along those lines as well. And I'm going to talk to you about something as far away from a comic book as can be. And this is a court case, right? I actually did not know that you could go to indianqanun.org and you can look up old court cases over there, right?
Whatever's been digitized.
Yeah, pretty interesting. So I'm assuming law students and people who are pursuing law and whatever form do use this website. But for other lay people like us, we could also go on it and read up on interesting court cases. This is one of them because this is Union of India versus X. X being what you have to identify. So the Supreme Court of India ruled on 26 November 2007 in the case Union of India versus X. This case was roughly 30 years old. There were many back and forth, and before it ended up at Supreme Court, of course, it went to the District Court, the Maharashtra High Court, I believe, and then finally at Supreme Court, where the ruling happened in 2007. The first filing of the case was 1976. The filing was done by the Excise Department. The claim was that the certain category of a product should be contested or should be recategorized, and hence it would have to pay a higher excise duty. the company X was arguing that, no, you know what, we shouldn't be recategorized and we shouldn't have to pay the higher amount. There is a very strong pop culture connection to the Supreme Court case. Vineet, can you identify what is X that I speak of?
Court case filed in 1976 in the Supreme Court by the Excise Department.
It was not filed in Supreme Court. I don't think it was filed in Supreme Court. It was probably filed in the lower court. It ended up in Supreme Court in 2000, when they resolved it in 2007.
Because the Excise Department wanted to reclassify something which would attract more tax.
Yeah.
So, and the case was Union of India versus this company.
Yeah, I mean, forget the technicalities of it, but yes, it was a government body which was fighting against a private company, and they were trying to reclassify a certain product type, and the company was against the reclassification. The reclassification would have meant higher excise duty, and of course, the company didn't want to pay that higher excise amount. I did not tell you which side did Supreme Court end up on, but in any case, my question is, there is a very strong pop culture symbol, icon, I don't know, whatever. It's a pop culture thing that is associated with this court case. Tell me, what is X?
So this pop culture thing, is it a movie by any chance?
It's not a movie, no.
Okay.
Yeah, you could try a process of elimination there. That might help you actually.
So it's a reclassification of something. So obviously the company produces a product. So let me just clarify one thing. Is it the case itself which has had a connection to the pop culture phenomenon? Or is it the product that has a connection with the pop culture phenomenon?
The case is related to the product, and the case is directly related to the pop culture phenomenon. And of course, the pop culture phenomenon has to do with the product as well. So all three are linked. Something
after 2007.
No. Wait, where do we get after 2000? I never said after 2007.
Oh, okay. So this is... Okay. I have understood. What I thought was that the resolution of the case is what led to the pop culture phenomenon.
No, the pop culture thing has existed since... That's what I meant. Like, the pop culture thing has existed since the 80s and 90s.
Oh, since the 70s and 80s. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Oh, that actually widens the field quite a bit. Something... Is it a publication? I think I already asked you that, but I don't believe
you didn't ask me. You asked me a movie. It's not a movie. It's not a publication. It's not a book. It's not a comic. It's not a magazine. No.
Do television channels and things like that have to do something with no, excise tax doesn't apply to that. So wait, is this television?
Warmer.
No.
It is not a television, nothing to do with the technology of it, but warmer, associated to mass media like television. You know what? I'm gonna. This might help you. I did say no to film, and it is of course not a film specifically, but it is associated to mass media. It is definitely associated to television, to radio. I think it should have at some point also been associated to cinema. I'm not quite sure on that, but probably at some point even associated to cinema. So you can try to think what combines all these things. What pop culture thing combines all these three?
Something specifically Indian.
Yeah. And no. I'm talking about the category. What is something pop culture that would be also associated to radio, what is also associated to TV, also associated to cinema, and also, by the way, you said publication, probably also associated to newspapers at some point, yeah.
Byomkesh Bakshi?
Again, no, don't think of specific things. I'm talking about what category of pop culture would be associated to all of these?
Comic books. You would have publications, you would have radio adaptations.
Good guess, but no, not comics, no. All right, you know what? I'm going to give you a hint. This is pop culture meets capitalism.
Advertisements.
Ooh, there we go. Yeah.
Okay, so ads. Is this Amul?
Pretty much at the same level, I think, of popularity. Yeah. Not Amul though.
Durex? No, Durex wouldn't be in the 70s, right?
Durex, no.
No, they have a really good ad game, by the way. Durex has an amazing ad game.
Listen, I've been part of a Durex ad, so I know what Durex ad game is like. Go check out my Instagram feed. All right, but in any case, it's not, and I don't even know if Durex was around back then. I doubt it, in India at least. So yeah, it's not that.
They wanted to reclassify something that's ad related.
So you've gotten quite a bit into the answer. I'm going to give you a bigger hint. The ad jingle itself talks about the reclassification.
Washing powder Nirma.
Literally at the same level of recall as washing powder Nirma. Think which iconic Indian ad literally talks about a category.
Dude, I am not very good at this, but
it is Hindi, so like washing powder Nirma, Hindi jingle. So I'm hoping you have heard of it. I should clarify that when I said that level of popularity, I meant Hindi-speaking audiences. Now, in Hindi-speaking audiences, I don't know if there were translated versions. I'd be curious, actually.
Like the moment you say ad jingle, what comes to mind is washing powder Nirma.
And then what is the second thing that comes to mind? What is the second thing that comes to mind after washing powder Nirma?
Literally nothing right now in my head. Oh God. What is this? Complan Boy? Complan? No, that's not a jingle per se. But
And I think Complan Boy is probably 90s. But anyway, don't quote me on that.
I'm missing something really obvious and I can't for the life of me figure out what it is.
This company, and I believe because I'm just browsing, so don't again quote me on this. But what I'm browsing is, I think 2 of their products, and these are the 2 products I know as well. This company's 2 products were under under question or under purview. And these are the 2 iconic products that you know of them. They're still around. I've still seen ads of them, of their products being played. And now I only encounter ads either on YouTube or in cinema trailers. I've seen it in the cinema, actually. The number of people who are shouting the answer at you, Vineet, are...
I'm aware.
I can guarantee you 99.9% of our Hindi-speaking audience is singing the jingle right now.
Wait, is this Little Soap?
Oh, man.
No.
Way more famous than that. Little Soap also famous. But no.
Okay. Vico Turmeric, Nahi Cosmetic, Vico Turmeric Ayurvedic Cream.
Perfect. You got that absolutely right. I'm very impressed. You did get it. You're not a Hindi speaker, so maybe it wasn't as common for you, but you have heard of it, I assume. Since you've cracked it, I'm just going to quickly explain. Vico, the company, is probably most famous for the 2 products, Vico Vajradanti and Vico Turmeric. On 8th November 1976, there was a show cause notice that asked, why should we not classify you as cosmetics instead of Ayurvedic medicines? Eventually, that led to, in 1977, a court case and so on and so forth for the next 30 years till it reached the Supreme Court. Vico was strongly against it being classified as cosmetic because that would have meant a higher excise duty, and I guess they believe that it was truly an Ayurvedic medicine. And honestly, if you ask any Indian out there, they'd agree just because it is so deeply ingrained in us. The public PR campaign was the PR campaign was also you cannot overstate the importance of the ad jingle that truly must have swayed the population, including the judges in the High Court and Supreme Court. Because if you say Vico Turmeric to anybody who has grown up in an Indian household speaking Hindi, they will say the next line is Nahi Cosmetic.
Nahi Cosmetic.
Imagine the insane impact of that. And there was a court case where they were literally battling the idea that you should not classify us as cosmetics because we are an Ayurvedic product. The excise department had disagreed and they wanted to reclassify them. And rest is history, and truly history. It is historic that Vico Turmeric Nahi Cosmetic, Vico Turmeric Ayurvedic Cream, like the entire jingle, they summed up a long legal battle and all the technical jargon into 4 lines. I genuinely, mind was blown when I realized this.
Oh, dude, it's fantastic. Fantastic. No, it was a big part of my childhood. And I remember whenever we used to rent these VHS cassettes, many of them would have ads in the beginning of it. And Vico Turmeric Cream was pakka.
Exactly.
Once in a while, you'd get Hamara Bajaj. So there used to be like these ads, and there's always one, I cannot remember which it was. It was some cassette brand. It featured this guy in boots walking up a stair, and then there's kind of slight pulsing music in the background, and then he gets to it, and it's like, he's got like boots and the jacket and everything, and then he gets and he has gloves, biker gloves on, and he uses it to insert a cassette. I don't know. It's just memories
interesting.
Shooting out of my head.
This one doesn't trigger any memory for me. But you know what? Third audience question for the episode.
If anybody can help me, because I can't remember which one it was. But if anybody can help me figure it out, that's great.
The first one had to do with India, Bahrain, and one more country. What was it? The third one?
The third one was the Republic of Congo.
India, Bahrain, and Congo. And then there was a question which had to do with
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams and his daughter's name. And now we have a third one. This one you won't know the answer for because Vineet can't remember it. So
I don't know the answer. I don't remember the answer.
Go ahead and let us know on Instagram or Reddit, wherever you are. All right, cool. Well done. Very well cracked. And such a fun piece of trivia related to India. Vineet, your turn next. Let's go.
Okay, moving on very quickly from the fact that I took too much time to crack that question, which I should have gotten earlier. To all those who have lost their voices screaming at the podcast, I can only say sorry. And take you back to the turn of the last century. Parsi trading family called the Naurojis, operated the longest running general provision store in a quiet British-era Himalayan hill station. A catastrophic earthquake in 1905 reduced much of the settlement to rubble, prompting a mass departure of its wealthy inhabitants, leaving behind rows of vacant colonial buildings. Decades later, Nausar Nauroji, the family's then surviving heir and unofficial caretaker of numerous abandoned British colonial properties, struggling to sustain his livelihood among the ruins, reached out to various businesses and government bodies to breathe life back into the dormant town. When these efforts yielded little fruit, he took an unusual step. He wrote directly to India's central government with a proposal for a novel use of the neglected properties. New Delhi acted on a suggestion, and the once forgotten hill station was soon transformed into a hub of cultural and political significance. So, my question is, what's the funda? What was the outcome of this correspondence, of the letter that Nausar Nauroji sent to New Delhi?
Which year was this, or what time was this?
Around 1960.
This is, by the way, the Nauroji in question related to Dadabhai Nauroji?
No.
Okay.
That is Nauroji. This is Nauroji.
No, sounds the same. No, I don't even know which hill station. So
specifically, yeah, there's a reason I haven't mentioned the hill station, because the moment I mention the name of the hill station, you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know why, and I don't know if it has any connection, but the toy train came to mind.
No, there are multiple toy trains in multiple hill stations in Uttarakhand, in Ooty, in Kodaikanal. This is not one of those.
And you said also political significance, right?
You caught that clue.
There is something in the back of my head. There's some conference. I'm thinking Shimla conference, and I'm trying to think politics. It's either that. This is the face? Is this smug face? I hope now I'm right.
Yeah, that's the face. That's the face.
Otherwise, it's a very unearned smug face. Is it to do with Dharamshala, with Tibet, the exodus of the Tibetan population, and you giving the Dalai Lama some space? So this would be Dharamshala, the hill station.
Yes. So the outcome of his letter was the establishment of Dalai Lama's Tibetan government in exile and refugee settlement in MacLeodganj, Upper Dharamshala, transforming it into Little Lhasa.
That's incredible.
Let's go back to the first ever domino in 1849. Following the end of the Anglo-Sikh Wars in 1849, British India absorbed the hill territories that would later become Dharamshala and MacLeodganj. The Nauroji family, Parsis from Punjab, migrated to MacLeodganj in 1860 along with the British Army and established Nauroji and Sons General Merchants, the town's first and longest running provision store, selling everything from baked goods to tobacco to liquor and even arms. For nearly a century, the establishment served as the primary commercial hub for British officers and their families stationed in the Himalayan cantonment. On April 4th, 1905, the devastating Kangra earthquake struck, obliterating much of Dharamshala and MacLeodganj, killing an estimated 20,000 people across the region and destroying the majority of its buildings. The catastrophe triggered a mass exodus of the area's wealthy and elite residents, leaving behind derelict colonial structures and a town stripped of its prosperity. It effectively became a ghost town post-independence, with the remaining inhabitants too few or too poor to maintain the abandoned colonial buildings. When India gained independence in 1947 and many European residents emigrated, they trusted their keys of their bungalows to Nausar Nauroji, making him the unofficial custodian of the colonial era property. Now, he was the fifth generation heir and eldest of 5 brothers, and he watched over these properties for many, many years. When the Dalai Lama fled Tibet in 1959 following China's military occupation and began searching for a home in exile, Nauroji wrote directly to Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, suggesting that he consider MacLeodganj's vacant colonial buildings as a settlement. Immediately, it was a very dramatic reaction, New Delhi sent large Landmaster cars carrying government intelligence officials and who questioned him, surveyed the town and departed. The Dalai Lama visited in 1960, approved it and established his residence at a house known as Swarg Ashram. The Central Tibetan Administration was formally based there, and thousands of Tibetan refugees followed, transforming that ghost town into what is now known as Little Lhasa.
That is incredible, and it's such a lovely serendipity that has happened, because today I was thinking about where I want to go on a holiday during the summers, and I was like, oh, you know what? I've always wanted to go to Dharamshala. I want to go for a trek over there. Maybe I'll plan something in the summer today. And that's why it was at the top of my mind. And it's insane, right? Like, I love how trivia like this just finds you, where, of course, Dharamshala, Tibet, the Lhasa, all of those things, the Dalai Lama, you know all of it. I saw a picture of my friend also who just went and visited or met Dalai Lama, very interestingly. And just the idea of where it came from, I never thought about it. And thanks for introducing that to me. I love it. I love it so much. That was a very fun piece of trivia.
If you are visiting Dharamshala, unfortunately, you won't be able to see the Nauroji and Sons General Merchants, because after Nausar Navroji passed away in 2000 at the age of 85, it still remained a landmark, but it closed and was sold in 2020 when the family's last heirs chose not to continue it. So I don't know if they've still maintained it with the name, but that family who had established it in 1860, they've decided not to continue running the store.
You know what? I hope there's a placard there at least, or some signpost which remembers that contribution. It's pretty cool. I like that. All right. Well, speaking of government policies which were pretty historic, significant, I am going to ask you, Vineet. You, of course, know about the gold standard and how history has taken us to it, from it, and back to it, and back away from it through various times. And, of course, the central character in all of this is, of course, as usual, the United States of America. They were dictating a lot of this. For anybody who doesn't know, the gold standard had to do with the idea that the amount of gold reserves a country held was the amount of money that they could then have in circulation.
So basically, we're saying that the currency, any kind of paper currency or coin currency, was backed by actual physical gold rather than a notional value.
Which meant that people could actually go, if they ever felt like the currency was losing value, and this has happened in the US also, by the way, they could literally go to the bank, and the banks were obligated to give them gold bars or gold coins in exchange for the currency of the same value. So if they made a run at the bank, of course, would not be holding the exact same amount of money as even today. Banks very often don't even hold the same amount of money that they have in digital form as they do in physical form. So in this case also they didn't have, and that meant a lot of banks did go under. So anyways, that's all economics history. The idea being that gold standard was in question. There was also silver, which was considered. And of course, there was the idea of the floating exchange rate, floating currency. All these things were different economic theories that have at various points of time come up and gone down. There was a late 19th century debate regarding monetary policy. According to this view, there was the gold standard. There was also the silverites, as they were called, who wished to maintain convertibility to a silver. And there was, of course, the idea that none of these should be in consideration. This particular piece of history, this debate, or this very significant economic and social upheaval is apparently allegorized, or has been made an allegory of, in a very famous piece of literature. Vineet, do you know which piece of literature am I talking about?
First thing that comes to mind is Harry Potter, but because the coins and the whatnot. But
good guess.
Second guess I would give was, again, because I was just before we were coming onto this, I was killing some time, and I noticed that Geo Hotstar was showing that Wicked was on the thing. So Yellow Brick Road, Tin Man, something to do with that, gold brick and whatnot.
That's just incredible. No smug face here, because that was generally a very good crack. Listeners, this was Vineet at his very best, because he has got the answer right on its head. It was one of the political interpretations of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And this is by a historian, Henry Littlefield. And there are, of course, contentions to it. People have argued that it is not the most accurate understanding of the text. And as any analysis of any literary text goes, I'm sure there'll be reasons for it and against it. But in any case, I thought it was so interesting because According to him, the yellow brick road represents the gold standard. The silver shoes, which are the ruby slippers in the 1939 film version, represent the Silverites' wish to maintain convertibility to silver. And very interestingly, there is also the idea that the road of gold leads eventually to Emerald City, which they also saw as being representative of a fiat currency. Fiat currency is a currency which is not backed by a metal, right? So it is a currency that is valuable in and of itself because the government guarantees it. Go into economics of it if you are interested. But in any case, I thought it was very interesting. There are also interpretations of how Dorothy, the naive, young and simple girl, represents the American people, right? And there was apparently a musical 1902 musical version of Wizard of Oz, which was written by Baum, and that was for an adult audience, and that had numerous explicit references to contemporary politics, including Theodore Roosevelt over at that point of time. So they were literally making political references. Whether it had to do with the monetary policy or not is still debatable, but the author did have some kind of political commentary in mind when this text was being written.
Nice.
Wonderful Wizard of Oz is supposed, one of the interpretations is the 19th century debate regarding monetary policy.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Oh, nice. No, fantastic question. I have somewhat similar. No, nothing, absolutely nothing similar, except for the part that we were talking about movies. So, X started as a child actor in the early 1980s, acting in movies like Kamchor, Betab, and Takdir. As an adult, X acted in movies like Jani Dushman, Kash Aap Hamare Hote, Love in Nepal. Though that's limiting his feature film career, X has, however, appeared in 50 plus short films and music videos. Who am I talking about? Who's X?
No idea. I don't know why Diler Mehndi came to mind first name.
No.
It's just that the last thing you said was music videos.
You are closer than you think when you said Diler Mehndi, but you are still cold.
Give me the time frame again.
Okay, a child actor in the 1980s, Kamchor, Betab, Takdir. As an adult, acted in feature films like Jani Dushman, Kash Aap Hamare Hote, Love in Nepal.
Oh, Sonu Nigam. Love in Nepal, Jani Dushman, Sonu Nigam. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very nice. Yeah. So I honestly did not know that he acted in movies as a child actor. I was hoping to trip you up with that. But yeah, very well cracked. So Sonu Nigam, the man, basically, he's like the Chuck Norris of Indian singing.
This is just a shout out to my man Chuck Norris, recently passed.
Yeah, he passed away. He passed away.
In peace.
No, but the thing is, you have all these Chuck Norris jokes, right? Chuck Norris doesn't do this, Dad does this to him, that kind of format of jokes. Auto-tune tunes people's voices or pitch corrects people's voices. Sonu Nigam's voice will pitch correct auto-tune. The man can never go out of tune or out of pitch. I mean, like, he has one of the most stable voices I've ever heard. So Sonu Nigam, his acting peaked briefly in 2002, 2004, but yielded 0 hits. And that led him to return full-time to singing, where he won national awards and a Padma Shri. Post 2016, he has stuck to music videos, guest song appearances and shorts, no feature films. Overall, his acting output totals around 7 to 10 feature credits, mostly unsuccessful, and around 2,000 plus songs across languages.
Yep. I think there's a pretty interesting history of singers trying to, and very objectively a good-looking guy, trying to make it into the acting space and being unsuccessful at it for the most part. Yeah, Sonu Nigam, voice of an angel, absolutely. And speaking of Chuck Norris, the best Chuck Norris reaction or homage or whatever, paying tribute to him after his passing was Chuck Norris passed away 6 months ago. Death only worked up the courage now to tell him.
But he was in his 80s. I feel so old.
86, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay. I think that's all the time we have for our regular round of quizzing. So let's get to the housekeeping. So the first piece of housekeeping that we have is the audience question that I had asked in the beginning of the episode, which was connect India, the Republic of Congo, and Bahrain. And this is a pseudo-exhaustive list.
Republic of Congo, Bahrain, India. Countries that have done demonetization.
No. That's a much bigger list. Okay, I mentioned that it's a pseudo-exhaustive list because if you're very strict with your definition, you would get only these 3. But if you relax the definition or if you relax that connect a little bit, there are 2 more countries which will be added to the list. which are South Korea and North Korea.
What's Bahrain doing in all of this? That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
And again, I was thinking partition, but that's not a so many countries in the world have been divided up. So that can't be it. No, absolutely no idea.
Let's just say they all share a particular milestone. A particular milestone. Not that they share a milestone, they share a particular milestone.
I think you're overestimating how helpful that hint is, because it's absolutely no help.
Because there are no other clues I can give you. But what I can tell you the answer is that India, the Republic of Congo, and Bahrain are the only 3 countries which achieved independence from colonial powers on August 15th.
Oh, what? That's insane. Oh, that's cool.
Yes. Yes. If you consider the fact that they were liberated from an occupying force, then South Korea and North Korea also fit the bill, because August 15th is when they were liberated from Japan. So that's also there. But strictly, that's not considered independence because it's a short occupation and not a colonial. So by strict definition, countries which achieved independence on August 15th, you have India, the Republic of Congo, and Bahrain. Now, those of you who are listening to this podcast and who are from the Middle East would be like, Vineet, you grew up in Bahrain. Bahrain doesn't celebrate independence on August 15th. It celebrates National Day on December 16th, right? It's something that you taught. Yes, so Bahrain declared independence from the UK protected status on August 15, 1971, following a UN survey confirming self-determination. A friendship treaty was signed, but celebrations occur in December. The country does not observe or celebrate August 15th as the Independence Day. It instead marks National Day on December 16th, commemorating the accession of Sheikh Isa bin Salman al Khalifa in 1961. He was the person who built the nation. And in 1971, December 16th was also the date when the constitution was ratified under his rule. So they do celebrate it on December 16th, but technically they did get full independence, or they declared independence from the UK on August 15th, 1971. Similarly, the Republic of Congo from France on August 15th, 1960, and India from the British in 1947. That's the connect. Now, coming to the second audience question that I put to the audience is that Robin Williams was also a gamer. He was a big gamer, and he named one of his kids after a very, very famous video game character. So, which video game character did he name his daughter after?
Is it Zelda? Is it Peach?
It is Zelda. Yes, he did name his daughter Zelda. And so now, Aditya, it's your turn to give your audience question part deux.
Okay.
And for the 1 or 2 people who did message me asking me what the hell I'm talking about, when I say part deux, I'm saying part dukes.
Stop it. It's nobody wants it, nobody likes it. It's a stupid name. Vineet, stop it.
No, shut up.
No,
so it's basically part dukes, if you want to pronounce it, DEUX.
I've been fighting a battle with you very passive aggressively on Instagram, because on Instagram, if you go to the posts of the episode, I put my question as audience question, and then I put the question that you ask as not the audience question.
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
That's fair. All right. So just to appease Vineet, the junior audience question is, this is a particular stub that has to do with the preview for a film. And this preview was not held. So I'm going to be posting the picture. It has some details in it as clues, so you can go and try to figure it out. I'm going to give one clue right now. It's a Stanley Kubrick film. All right. So there was a special preview for a Stanley Kubrick film, and it was never held. And in handwriting, rather it's handwritten, what the reason was. So I'm going to be blanking out both the name of the film and the reason. The person who gets both of those right first will get a shout out in our next episode. So far, it has been Avishkar who has gotten it twice, and I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting the name of another person who has gotten it once. So yes, go ahead and tell us what do you think the answer is. Which movie was this a preview for by Stanley Kubrick, and why was it not held? Why was it postponed? Which is handwritten at the bottom of this particular piece of paper that would have admitted one person into that preview. All right, that's the audience question, Junior.
So yes, that was the audience question part deux. Aditya, what's your pop culture recommendation for this week?
The Oscar season just went by, so I'm going to recommend some of the Oscar films. I've recommended some in the past. I'm just going to do a quick shout out to the ones that I loved. One Battle After Another, phenomenal. Sinners, just mind-blowing. Begonia, oh, so good. And Marty Supreme. Loved all of these films. I missed a few. The ones that I did not care too much for. Hamnet, I thought Jesse Buckley was amazing. Didn't care too much for the movie though. Frankenstein, again, I think I was a little bored. F1, also a little bored, a little too long of film for me. So these are the films that I didn't like as much. There was also a film festival happening in Mumbai. I managed to catch a very nice film, which I had been waiting to watch for a very long time. Is This Thing On? This is written by Will Arnett, and I think Bradley Cooper has also written it, and he has directed it. Bradley Cooper features in it. Will Arnett is a star, and opposite Will Arnett is Laura Dern. Both of them the leads, both of them phenomenal. It's a relationship drama. Will Arnett also plays somebody who's stepping into the world of stand-up comedy. Won't tell you too much about it. Bradley Cooper, I think, is a very competent director. I think he has found his footing as a director way more than he did as an actor. So, well, hats off to him. Though he does do a very fun role in this movie. So yeah, these are the films that I would recommend. Is This Thing On, and the other Oscar-nominated films that I said.
What I want to recommend is The Pit, which I believe Aditya has already recommended in the past. I got to it recently and I binged it, even though I had actually watched one episode, and then because it was coming out weekly, I got bored, and then, my short attention span and ADHD kicked in. But I did get to it. And I watched it at a stretch, and I really, really enjoyed it. Now that season 2 is out, I'm waiting for all the episodes to air before I go ahead and binge it. So that's that. And that's all the time we have for today's episode. Thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the show and hopefully learned something new. Whichever broadcast platform or YouTube or any video platform that you're listening to us on, please like, share, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars. It helps us, it helps the show and helps us reach out to more people. If you want any questions asked on the show, please send us those questions at ruquizzingme@gmail.com with the name of the quizmaster in the subject line. We also have a subreddit, r/ruquizzingme, where the fans of the show congregate. We also have a very active Instagram profile where we post questions or quizzes every Sunday. Plus, there's a lot of other content on it as well, especially Aditya's very clever spoiler, non-spoiler posts, which he does a fantastic bang-up job of. So that's it. And that's it. That's all the housekeeping that we have for today's. Hopefully we'll see you next week. And this is me signing off and leaving Aditya to go ahead with his regular sign-off. I'm not appropriating that because I don't want to hear any weird things that he comes up with, just to sign off because he has nothing else to say.
As for my sign-off, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be Viko Vajrasanti. See you guys next week.
You remember Tinkle? Tinkle, tinkle, tinkle?